Hello, fourth graders. We are on lesson 6 of module 6 today, and our objective, we are going to be using area models and number lines to represent mixed numbers. Today we're going to have units of ones, tenths, and hundredths to deal with. Okay. We're also going to be looking again at fraction form as well as decimal form. Okay, so we're going to be writing them in both ways. Okay, let's get started. Today shouldn't be too bad for us, so let's dive in. Alright, to start off we have a table that shows us the perimeter of 4 rectangles, A, B, C, and D. Okay, it looks like by looking at my data, I'm going to have to do some converting with this data. Okay, I have one rectangle that is in centimeters, and I have 3 that are in meters. I have one that's in a fraction form. I have one that's in decimal. So we have to figure out what that all means in terms of our units. So let's take our time on this one. Alright, question A. Which rectangle has the smallest perimeter? Well, like I said, we're going to have to do some analyzing here. So let's just go through and see if there's any conversions we can make. So rectangle A has a perimeter of 54 centimeters. Well, centimeters seem pretty user-friendly here, so maybe we should convert everything to centimeters, and that will help us. Let's take a look at B. 69 100ths. Ooh, that should be ringing a bell. When I think about a meter, I know that there are 100 centimeters inside that meter. So those represent our hundredths, okay? So if I'm going to try to convert this 69 hundredths to centimeters, out of meters into centimeters, I know that there are 69 in a meter, 100 centimeters in a meter, so that must mean that this 69 means how many centimeters there are. Okay, if there are 69 hundredths, that means there's 69 centimeters of that meter for this perimeter B. So far it looks like A is still the shortest perimeter. Let's look at C. This one says 54 meters. Well, that's large, okay? So 54 meters is nowhere near 54 centimeters, and it's nowhere near 69 centimeters. So this is probably out for the shortest perimeter. Alright, let's move on to this one that's in decimal form, D. I have 0.8 of a meter. 8 tenths, okay? That 8 is in the tenths place. Remember, we're trying to convert everything to centimeters. Okay, so right now I have 8 tenths. In every tenth, I have 10 hundredths. Okay, so if there's 10 in every single one of these, I can understand that there are going to be 80 centimeters. Okay, so this fraction form could look like this, 80 hundredths. If I put that 0 in the hundredths place value, I haven't changed this number. I'm just saying it in a different unit. So I'm saying it in hundredths now. So 80 hundredths is the same as having 80 centimeters. Pretty cool. So now I can go back up to my question, and I'm pretty sure that rectangle A must be the shortest perimeter, or the smallest perimeter. 54 centimeters is less than 69, and it's also less than 80. Alright, question B. The perimeter of rectangle C is how many meters less than a kilometer? Ooh, interesting. I think on CERN you've been reviewing this conversion. So if I have 1,000 meters, I have a kilometer. Okay, so 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. Now it's asking us to look at rectangle C and say how much less than a kilometer it is. So if we have 54 meters, well, to compare that, I'm going to need to take my 1,000 and subtract what we know. And we're going to get how much more it is. Okay? Go ahead and try that out. Lots of renaming involved here, so be careful. Go all the way out to my thousands. I rename to my hundreds. Now I have to rename again. And the ones becomes 10. And now I have 10 minus 4 gets me 6. 9 minus 5 gets me 4. And 9 minus nothing gets me 946. These are meters. Okay, so the answer to question B is 946 meters. Alright, question C is asking us to compare the perimeters of rectangle B and D. So the 69 centimeters that we got and this 80 centimeters that we have. Alright, we know that rectangle D is the one with the greater perimeter, and they want to know how much greater. So if I have 80 minus 69, another one I have to rename here. 10 minus 9 is 1, and 6 minus 1, or sorry, 7 minus 6 is 1. Jeez. Alright, 11 centimeters. So how much greater is D compared to B? 11 centimeters. Alright, so hopefully that all made sense to you. That's a pretty interesting problem to start us off with. Alright. Alright, for these, if you can turn those into decimal form, go ahead and pause the video and then check your work, guys. If you need a little help, just watch on through. Alright, 1 whole. And I put my decimal. And I have 22 hundredths. This is in the hundreds place. Okay, so 1.22, 1 and 22 hundredths. Same thing here. I have 1.38, 1 and 38 hundredths. Okay. One more here. 1 and 81 hundredths. That's pretty easy peasy. You just have to be careful that everything's in the right place values. Okay. Let's keep moving along. Alright, now we're going to look at estimating on a number line. This is a big part of your exit ticket today. It's actually half of your points, okay? So make sure that you feel good about this. So on your notes, if you could go ahead and sketch out, you actually don't need this part, so you can just make a number line from 1 to 2. I should have changed that, and I'm sorry. But if you make your number line from 1 to 2, you'll be good to go. Alright? Mark your midpoint, and then you're going to need 4 hashes on the one side and 4 hashes on the other side so that you have your number line in tenths. Okay? You can pause if I'm going too fast for you, and then start back up. Alright, so if I have 1 whole, I know I'm going to be past the 1 whole mark. Okay? If I know that I have 22 hundredths, well, I know I'm going to be before 50 hundredths, which is halfway. So 1 and 50 hundredths is halfway. Okay? Each one of these is a tenth. So 1 tenth, 2 tenths, 3 tenths, 4 tenths, 5 tenths, 6 tenths, 7 tenths, 8 tenths, 9 tenths. Okay? If I know that 22 has 2 tenths, 22 hundredths have 2 tenths, I'm going to be past the 2 tenths mark, and then I'm just going to be a little bit past it. Okay, and this is estimating, so get it as close as you can to where you think it should be. But it should be past 1, 1 and 2 tenths, and 1 and 22 hundredths is about right there. Alright, go ahead and draw yourselves 2 more number lines. We've got a 3 to 4 number line, and then we have a 2 to 3 number line. Again, you can try these on your own if you would like, and then just scroll ahead to check your work. Alright, so for this one, I am past 3, and 46 is pretty close to 50. Okay, so if I'm thinking of my midpoint, I'm pretty close to my midpoint here, but I'm kind of right before it. So this is 4/10, and 6/10 is going to be a little after half of between that 10th and the 50. Alright, so there's my estimation for that one. And here I know I'm between 2 and 3, and this time I have 3/10 and then 4/100 extra. So 2 and 1/10, 2 and 2/10, 2 and 3/10, and I'm a little before halfway between those 2/10. Okay? Alright, so there's a little bit of estimating on the number line. You'll do some more practice on your problem set. Alright. Now we're going to be looking at some unit form, changing it to decimal form and fraction form. Again, if you feel comfortable that you can try these on your own, go ahead and pause the video. You can see the whole screen here, and write them in your notes, and then go ahead and check your work. If you feel like you're in need of some help, then go ahead and go along with me. Okay? But this one says we have 3 ones, 8/10. So I have 3 ones, my decimal, and my 8 needs to be in my tenths place. Okay, so there's 3 and 8/10. This one also has 3 ones, but this time it has 8/100. So it has no tenths, and it has 8/100. Be careful. Many of you made little mistakes on the other exit tickets that you didn't understand that this has to have a 0 here. It is necessary to show that this is your hundredths place. Alright, now we have decimal and fraction form that we're going to do for the rest of them. So 8 ones, my decimal. Now I have to decide if I have 2 hundredths, I don't have any tenths. I don't have enough to make a tenth. So my 2 is in my hundredths place, my 8 is in my ones place. This in fraction form is going to be 8 and 2 hundredths. Alrighty, we have, for this next one, we have 2 ones, and this time I have 2 tenths. So this 2 can go right after the decimal because it's tenths. So now I have 2 and 2 tenths is my fraction now. Alright, 2 ones, so 2 wholes. And now I have hundredths again. I have 8/100, so I have 0 tenths, and 8/100. 2 and 8/100. Alright, last one here. I have 9 wholes and my decimal. I can start my fraction as well. And this time I have 80/100. They're trying to trick us. 80/100, I could write that as a fraction. 80/100. As a decimal, I could leave it like 8/10 because I know that 80/100 is actually the same as 8/10. This 0 right here is in a place value that is not really necessary. Okay, it doesn't change the number to have this 0 here. Okay, if I had thousandths or something, if I had something in the thousandths place that we're not going to explore in 4th grade, it would matter. But because I don't, it can actually not be there if you wanted. So 8/10 is the same as 80/100. So this could be also written as 8 tenths in a fraction.